And that right there is the vital information that we have on Flight 93. It's a Boeing 757, and that's some of the pictures that we're getting out of Somerset County. It's about 80 miles southeast, actually, of Pittsburgh, and that's the remains of that flight right there.
And you can see the different layers, and the first three, E, D, and C, were penetrated by the American airline jet and are still on fire. This a couple of hours ago, but still on fire at this hour.
It does not appear that there's any kind of an effort up there yet. Now remember, oh my God.
My God.
So this looks like it is some sort of a concerted effort to attack the World Trade Center that is underway in downtown New York.
So where were you on 9/11?
Well, my family was currently stationed at Los Angeles Air Force Base.
Travis Air Force Base.
Travis Air Force Base in California.
I was stationed in Japan at the time.
I was living in Hawaii at the time.
I was here, Randolph.
I was at school on the other side of town, San Antonio.
I was here in San Antonio.
I was actually here in San Antonio.
I was in Galveston, Texas.
Wichita Falls, Texas.
Fayetteville, North Carolina.
Glendale, Arizona.
I was in Colorado. I was in Loveland.
Stafford, Virginia.
I was in Washington, D.C.
I was at Boeing Air Force Base near Washington, D.C.
The images of 9/11 are seared into our national memory. Hijacked planes cutting through a cloudless September sky. The Twin Towers collapsing to the ground. Black smoke billowing up from the Pentagon. The wreckage of Flight 93 in Shanksville, Pennsylvania.
When you think of 9/11, what image do you most associate with it?
Probably mostly the fear that a lot of people had.
The destruction of the Pentagon.
Being in my backyard and seeing the smoke rise from the Pentagon.
Just being in class that day and teacher started crying.
People crying and lots of people going around the television and watching the news.
My dad forcing me to watch the news, even though I didn't really know what was going on. Every single channel, there was something just terrible.
Smoke coming out of the towers, and then tower just coming straight down.
The pictures of like the towers burning after the planes had crashed through them.
Planes sitting in the tower.
The buildings just burning.
The collapsing second tower.
The planes crashing into the towers.
The towers collapsing.
Towers just crumbling in on themselves.
The first image I see is, of course, the towers, but at the same time it was also the American flag because it really became sort of a symbol for what we still have.
And yet we know that the worst images are those that were unseen to the world. The empty seat at the dinner table, children who were forced to grow up without their mother or their father, parents who would never know the feeling of their child's embrace, nearly 3,000 citizens taken from us, leaving a gaping hole in our hearts.
So what was it like growing up with 9/11?
It's pretty bad. I didn't know what to feel at first. I didn't know if I was to be mad or upset or why did it happen.
It's always with us, like with the security at the airports and like the ground zero. There's talk like now all the rebuilding there. It's just like everything about it still goes on, even though it happened 10 years ago. It's still with us today.
Growing up with 9/11 was really different because for a lot of people it really solidified that sense of American ideals and American values, but at the same time it elevated security and a lot of things were restricted.
Just all the after effects. A lot of terrorist acts have been attempted since then, and they've changed the security. It was a little bit stressful, but at the same time you're glad that they're taking more safety precautions.
It was hard, but I mean, I had it easier than so many people out there. Being on an Air Force base, I guess that people understand because like my dad does serve in the military, so I mean, you can't say all Muslims are bad. I had a friend who, after Osama bin Laden's death, so many people told him, sorry about the death of your uncle. When I was in 6th grade or so, I had some guys calling me Saddam Hussein for a while, and then it's just teasing like that. I never really let it get to me, but I mean, still.
Good evening. Tonight, I can report to the American people and to the world that the United States has conducted an operation that killed Osama bin Laden, the leader of Al-Qaeda, and a terrorist who's responsible for the murder of thousands of innocent men, women, and children.
Someone posted a status saying bin Laden's dead, and I was like, nah, I doubt it, it's just a hoax. But then over like the next 5 minutes, there were so many statuses, and I was like, really? This intense joy filled me because I'd been waiting 10 years for this. I mean, this guy threw so many prejudices against Muslims out there, and I hated him, really.
He hurt so many people. I was just happy he was gone.
I was pleased, but at the same time I didn't quite know what it would accomplish, because aside from the killing of an icon, I didn't see it making any progress in the war on terror.
I was happy because I felt like it would help a lot of the grieving families to have some type of closure, but at the same time I was like, I wonder if this is really over.
I was proud of the Navy SEALs who did it. 9/11 was 10 years ago and he was just recently killed, so I think after all those years it was relief finally that he was gone.
On September 11th, 2001, in our time of grief, the American people came together. We offered our neighbors a hand, and we offered the wounded our blood. We reaffirmed our ties to each other and our love of community and country. On that day, no matter where we came from, what God we prayed to, or what race or ethnicity we were united as one American family. Whether it's the pursuit of prosperity for our people or the struggle for equality for all our citizens, our commitment to stand up for our values abroad, and our sacrifices to make the world a safer place. Let us remember that we can do these things not just because of wealth or power, but because of who we are. One nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. May God bless you. And may God bless the United States of America.